All right, Shalom, Call Halal Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. This is your brother Awar making a video to feed the sheep and edify the lambs. Shalom to the Akim wa Akwathium that'll be watching this video. Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Brakathum, Call Halal Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. All right, and I'm gonna just start off with Joel chapter 3 and verse 9, and it says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong." Okay. And as you can see by the title of this video, which made me want to make a video real quick on it, it says Americans will lose, in the quotation marks. It says what Yemens think about the war with the U.S. and Yemen. The Yemenis would be considered a weak country, a weak state of people. They call it like a third world country. And they're saying they believe that the U.S. will lose, the Americans will lose. And according to prophecy, yes, the Americans will lose the upcoming Third World War when it goes full blown. And yeah, it's just the fact that you're seeing that spirit poured out in the earth right now is prophecy as well, because the men of the Lord are out on the street corners, the Israelites preaching, and prophesying that these things are going to happen. And now you're seeing all these countries that would never, throughout the past few decades, go to a war against the Americans or even think about doing it. They're all, it's more than an even playing field now. The Russians got more nuclear arsenal, Chinese, and then they got the Chinese with as their allies, and all the Russians' allies have nuclear arsenal too. With their allies combined, they have more of a nuclear arsenal, more than Americans' allies combined, right? The soldiers alone. I made a comment on this on a TikTok a few hours back, and the people that I did a video, Gen Z is not trying to, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, Gen Omega, they're not really looking for going to war for this country, and a lot of them don't even want to defend this country. They don't like it, so, and then the other half is going to be a small amount of people who do want to go into the military. Some people, because they have no other option. And then you got a bunch of LGBTQ. On the other hand, you think they are not fighting for this place. That's the last thing they're trying to do. Okay. So yeah, though, if they were to be on a full scale blown, which they're probably, I'm not sure how everything's gonna play out, but I'm sure they'll do like draft, and some people get caught up in it, things of that nature. These citizens in this Western civilization are not built for that anymore. Okay. You're going to be going up against hardened Chinese, Iranians, Russians. They don't play. They've been training for this state for. That giving me the other video idea where I was supposed to. I gotta go make that one, but yeah, let's get into it. I'll just read this and get a few scriptures, and it should be good. I haven't read it yet, so it says Washington is on the brink of war in the Red Sea, but an analyst has warned that the Middle East country will be a hard nut to crack. Yemen has been living in a state of war since 2015, when an Arab alliance backed by the West attacked the country in a bid to oust Houthi rebels, who they considered radicals loyal to Iran. Although a truce between the warring sides was put in place last September, tensions in the region are high again, and a Yemenite political analyst says this is because of Israel and its allies' actions in Gaza. And that's reminds me of the scripture in Zephaniah, the third chapter, and it says, "Therefore wait." Zephaniah 3 and verse 8. Chapter 3 verse 8 says, "Therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. See, there's gonna be no actual physical war happening in the Western country the way it's gonna be in the Eastern countries, right? You're not gonna see. It's not gonna be. You're not gonna have one part of the state of one state in America shooting missiles at another state, a democratic state or a republican state. It's gonna be famine. You know, there's gonna be no work. There's gonna be civil unrest. There's gonna be food shortage. There's gonna be breaking and entering. It's gonna be all anarchy at a certain point. That's getting ready to happen when this economy collapses. You know, when all hell breaks loose on this side of the earth. That's what's gonna be the main issue, right? But the Most High is putting the spirit, the what do you call it? The intentions of the kings of the earth, these people, to have troubles in that region because he wants to bring the kingdoms there for the final blown out war. Okay, what was that? Was it also in Joel? I can see. Okay, yeah, I'm going to go back to Joel 3 and verse 11. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be awakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is a place in the land of Israel. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Okay, so ultimately the final war will be the children of Israel against all other nations, headed by the Most High, headed by Yahushua. All right. So that's what all these tensions are going to keep escalating in this region. First it was the Russians and the Ukrainians. Now it's about to be. It seems like it might be with the Chinese and the Taiwanese, and you know, the Chinese might take back Taiwan. So you got things happening over there, and then you got what's going on with the Red Sea, where ships are being attacked. And I've seen like a video on it, how because of this, that inflation is gonna increase inflation, because these ships are not going the normal cheapest route through this usual route they go, so they have to go all the way around, which costs them more what do they call it, fuel or whatever it takes to run these ships. Okay, so let's keep reading. It says Hussein al-Bukhari, a Sana-based political analyst, was not taken aback when the United States, together with a number of regional and international players, launched a series on attacks on Yemen last Friday. The assaults were carried out by the U.S. and British warplanes, submarines, and ships. Right, you know, we got to remember with the beast with the 4 heads and the, was it 7 heads and 10 horns, and then the three horns come up. And the British is still the British, the Spanish, and the French were all were those 3 horns that created America. And you know, it's how they're still working with them to go and bomb and do attacks in these Middle Eastern regions. Submarines and ships. They targeted the military infrastructure of the Houthis, an Islamic group that controls most parts of Yemen and has links to Iran, which means it is considered radical by the West. The Western attacks came in retaliation for months of what they see as Houthi harassment of vessels that go through Bab al-Mandab, narrow straits that link the Red Sea with the Indian Ocean. Houthi assaults have had a negative impact on trade in the region. Yeah, like I'll see if I could drop a video on that real quick. But they pushed up prices on goods because shipping companies refuse to sail in the area, and this is what the U.S. has vowed. See that? So people are going to be paying a little bit more for a bit. We'll see how this goes down the line in the upcoming months. The year just started, and this is how it's getting into. Okay, so, but al-Bukhari is certain that the reason for the Western assault was not connected to economy. Of course, it's not about the economy. These people don't care about whether the citizens are going to have to actually pay more for their groceries and stuff. The U.S. and its allies started a new war simply because they want Israel to continue their massacre and the mass killing of the Palestinian people. They cannot allow a situation where the results of the Israeli-Palestinian war can be altered. And with the way this man's economy is, and his economy, the morality of this whole Western civilization is crumbling. You can't blame him, right? Was that a Revelation 12? 12 and 10? 12 and 10, and it says, "And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, Now has come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of our Messiah. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before." Oh, no, wait. Is this one? No, that's not it. The devil come down upon you because he knows that he has but a short time. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Imagine it's in there and I just completely read over it or something. Oh, it's 12 and 12. Okay. Revelation 12 and 12. It says, okay. It said, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." So war and destruction is coming to the people because this man knows that he has a short time. People are waking up, and that means his rulership is quickly crumbling faster and faster. They raised their debt limit like 2 weeks ago or something. Things are getting bad over here, and they're getting desperate, so they're doing what they got to do to enjoy their blessing in that region as long as possible, as quick as possible, as much as possible, right? They can allow situation results of that Israel-Palestinian war can be altered. Israel has been waging a war on the militants of Gaza since October 7th, 2023, when thousands of terrorists infiltrated Israeli southern communities, massacring over 1,400 people and wounding more than 5,000 in the past 100 days of the conflict. And as a part of its efforts to eliminate Hamas and other Islamic groups, Israel has destroyed multiple military sites belonging to the Palestinian factions. It has also reportedly killed more than 9,000 other fighters, but it has also claimed the lives of more than 23,000 civilians and has created a deep humanitarian crisis. Yeah, this is not a war. This is a straight cleanse, bro. If it was war, it would have ended already. But these guys are still going, so you can clearly see that their objective is not to just send a message. Their objective is to try and kill as much of them as they possibly can. According to estimates, a quarter of Gaza's 2.2 million population is starving. Most don't have access to fresh water, with only 4% of it deemed drinkable. Basic hygiene products are also absent. Medications and vital medical services are out of reach. Al-Bukhari says his country could not stand idly by watching these atrocities. This is why they decided to intervene for the sake of the Palestinian people. A lot of people ask me why we need to interfere into a crisis that takes place thousands of miles away from our border. But let me tell you, in 1939, Great Britain declared war on Nazi Germany for invading Poland, even though that country was miles away from London, said the analyst, right? The Americans, the American allies all came to rush to save these Jewish people, right? And these people were going to a war in America that had to take place on the eastern part of the world. They had nothing in relation to these Germans and whatnot. Yet they had to go and fight for them, right? So you see who's really important to these three horns, these Americans. It doesn't matter how remote the state is. What matters is the principle. We couldn't lose our dignity and moral standing by simply sitting down and watching the tragedy in Gaza unfolding, he added. However, the decision to assist the Palestinians might cost the Houthis dearly. Since 2015, well, I mean, this is actually really long, but let me see. Oh, okay, it gets spicy down here, okay. Yahya Saree Sari, the spokesman of the Yemeni armed forces, has reiterated that the response to the American and British attacks was unavoidable and that no future attack will go unpunished. The war in the region is just a matter of time, but the ones who will lose from this war is the US and the UK. For years, Yemen has been known as the graveyard for invaders, and history will repeat itself. Yet al-Bukaidi believes it is still possible to ease tensions and prevent a major conflict, but for that to happen, he says two conditions should be met. The first one is that the West should leave the area and stop spreading chaos in the region. The second is that Israel should cease its aggression in Gaza. Our demand is simple. The blockade of Gaza should be lifted. Food, water, fuel, and medication should be allowed in. This has been the demand of various NGOs and human rights groups. This is what the demonstrators around the world have been protesting about, but the Western governments don't want to listen to the calls of the public. They've proven that they are tyrants, not Democrats, and until they change their stance, Yemen will continue fighting. No doubt about that, al-Bukaidi concludes. And yeah, man, you clearly see who the Western government is loyal to, and they're loyal to these, if you know, Amalek. Right? These Western Edomites clearly are loyal to these Amalekites, and they'll do whatever they have them, this small minority of people want them to do. Okay, which I would say they're clearly being controlled by them, right? And yeah, there was a video with the prime minister or whatever of Israel saying that he's not letting no food come in. He ain't stopping no ceasefire, even though Biden was asking. So America's supposed to be the biggest and baddest country on the earth, yet they're scared to even go against this one guy, what this one guy saying in the line of Israel. That does sound fishy to me, right? But I mean, that's pretty much it on this. I want to get out that fact that yeah, America's gonna lose eventually. Even though it's not looking there, but you gotta understand the big players in this thing haven't even started to move yet on the eastern side of the BRICS. So and that's why they're not moving. America's not moving its troops. It's just sending a lot of money because when China wants to go and invade Taiwan, they're gonna have to deal with that. They're gonna have to deal with whatever's going on in the Middle East, and Russia's already beating the crap out of the Ukrainians, so they're about to take that back too. They can't fight all these people at once, and that's why the Americans are moving for sending funding and as much money as they can, and they're the ones backed against the wall, right? Don't let nobody fool you. They talking big, but they're the ones backed against the wall here. It's clear to see, right? So with that, I'm gonna say I hope y'all are edified. Hopefully, these videos channel can spread more. I'll share it a little bit more, and say shalom.